Okay. Yeah. Look at that. That's the smile. That's the $1 million smile. People,
Yeah.
y'all. Welcome to a wonderful conversation I'm about to have with my dear brother Larry Davis. Me and his brother go way back, way back, 20 plus years of knowing each
20
other,
plus years.
of maintaining a relationship. He played football at the Marshall University. Go Herd. I played basketball at Marshall University. You see my ball right behind me. Balls, paws, whatever. But me and his brother, literally, we just grew up together, like literally from young men to now more seasoned men. And we've maintained our relationship. And so he's on here. He has an incredible story that I would love for you to hear. And so we just conversating. This is my guy, Larry Davis. We used to call him Dollar Bill back in college. And so
God damn.
we used to call him Dollar Bill back in college. He's from Florida. So
Yeah.
y'all know how the Florida boys be. I'm from the land.
Yeah.
I'm from the Cleveland Indians. He really from where the Seminoles and all them people come from. So,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
listen,
Yes, sir.
man, y'all welcome my brother, man. And listen, I want to tell you, I want to say this because I like to give flowers to my guests who come on my show because if you're on my show, I think a little bit of you, and so it's good to have you on here, my friend. And I want to give you flowers, bro. I've watched you grow into a very, very mature man, a very successful man, a man who has values and principles that makes men respect you. And so you're a great father, great husband, man, great businessman, great brother too. Because for you to still be cool with me after all these years, and I'm the type of person, it's hard. You know what I'm talking about? But I really, really, really appreciate your friendship and your brotherhood. And so, man, Larry, man, tell the people where you from, what part of Florida you come from, a little bit of your backstory.
Hey, so first off, get excited. Get
Here it is.
excited. Hey,
Here it
get
is.
excited. Hey, so that's my mantra that I developed
Yeah.
after college, right? And then we'll get into that later. But I'm from a small place in in Florida called Okeechobee, Florida,
Mm,
Okeechobee Lake. It's centrally located in Florida,
mm,
and we do dwell among the Seminole Indians.
mm.
Um, we're on the lake, which is called the Muck. So you
Wow.
have surrounding cities. So you have Belglade, Pahokee, Moorhaven, and excuse me if I'm forgetting one, but that's where your extreme talent in Florida was raised in small towns, and these towns people never heard of.
Okay.
This is where your talent, and I can tell you some of the trainings that we went through, but this small town living is where some of your best athletes are farmed or raised or come from.
Why you
Bro,
think
we
that?
had a
Why y'all think that is? Why you think that the small towns and places like where you from, why do you guys produce such
bro,
amazing athletes?
cause it ain't shit to do, right? The only thing that
That's
you can
crazy.
do is play sports because you have your elders in the community and you have your people that have graduated, but they decided to leave, but they didn't bring nothing back. And then everything else is sanctioned off with permitted. That is permitted, right? That's what we call it, permitted. So it ain't like you can start a business in a small town because it's the buddy system. So there
Okay,
was
okay.
nothing for us to do, literally, but to go out and and play ball, some type of sports, because that's the only thing that your town offers you.
Right. So y'all
So,
just play sports all the time. Y'all just playing.
but we be out there barefooted.
What? What?
We be out there in the fields. We be out there on in the sugarcane fields,
Wow.
chasing rabbits. We chase
Wow.
armadillos. We rope cows. And then we took those skills and then somehow they transferred to the field. But
That's crazy.
check this out. That was also the only thing that gave us an outlet.
Okay. 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 That was
So because
productive.
it gave us a productive outlet because sometimes in the house you got one parent working and then
Yep.
you got the other parent at home. And back in my household, I had two parents, but they
Mm-hmm.
was always at odds. So
Uh,
I always wanted to get away and to get out.
okay.
And I had a lot of anger because I couldn't understand why my parents, we got a house, we got a car, we got food, my dad making good money, but it was still no relationship, no
Mm.
unity. I couldn't take a
How,
deep breath at the house. It was always
did,
negative.
wow. Did you have any siblings?
I did have a brother and a sister, but I was the king.
Or are you the oldest?
I was the oldest, right?
Okay.
So they even got uh, they got much of the brunt because I always felt the need to stand up and protect them from hearing some of the stuff that my parents was exchanging toward each other because at a young age I knew that's not how you're supposed to talk to one another. That's not how you're supposed to treat one another.
Right.
So I think but it's two things you can learn from your parents: what to do and what not to do.
That's true. That's true. That's
So
true.
as
That's
a
true.
young age, I decided that I didn't want to be that negative person, but with all that negativity that I had in me,
Hmm.
I just went out there on the field. I laid it out there on the field.
Yeah.
And I could tell my parents to this day, thank you for being at odds with one another. You didn't allow me to get comfortable.
Mm. Mm.
So some people would see that as a negative, right?
Uh-huh.
But their negative turned my negativity into positivity over
Uh-huh.
time.
So
And
would
that's
you say
where,
would you say you did that? Because listen, because look today young people have a lot of more resources around them as far as understanding emotional intelligence, understanding trauma. We didn't have that. Like we had to figure out whatever this was that I'm feeling. I need to figure out where to put this somewhere before it turns into a self-destructive, expression, right? And then
Mhm,
me and we were athletes in the '90s, so it wasn't no
mhm,
cameras following us around. Wasn't no, so some things we did, ain't nobody
mhm.
ever gonna know about. But it's still
Never.
never gonna ever know about. But the reality is that those things were still around us. We still experienced those things. We had to work through those things too, without
Mhm.
cameras being in front of us. And so we were able to grow up as young men and stuff like that. But how do you think that affected you growing up where these parents are at odds, you're trying to figure out this trauma, you direct it to a sport that gives you a right to run your head face first into another person's head, pause, and then crash violently into other people and allow you to. So how did you figure? Oh, here's a place I can do that
Yeah.
without being destructive out here. Talk to me.
Check this out. So my dad, right, was a even kill guy,
Right.
and no matter what, he always kept me in sports.
Okay.
So I wasn't around the house as much, but I understood that what he was doing,
Mm.
and he kept me involved in basketball, football, and baseball. He was my coach for every sport,
Mm.
and all I can say is that the thing that helped me was not only being introduced to these sports, but now it was about introducing me to the people that played these sports.
Mm.
So now I'm on the inside, and now I got another outlet. Now I got other eyes to see how things is really done outside of my household. So
There
we
you
would
go.
have sleepovers. We would have sleepovers,
There you
and
go.
I would get to stay at the different teammates' houses, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got to see how they live life. Some of them had plenty of money, some of them didn't have no money, but this opened me up to new worlds. So I said to my dad, wow, thank you. Even though I'm not thanking you for me and my mom's relationship and how y'all like treat each other in the house, which creates negativity. But thank you for exposing me to other relationships to give me insight on how. So I learned a lot by staying at other people's houses, and I was like, wow, oh, I didn't know that existed. Oh,
That's
I didn't
crazy.
know men and
That's
women hugged and kissed each other. and
Yeah,
loved each other.
see,
Oh,
and listen, I tell people all the time, and and it gives a couple of points that you bring out that I think is important. Exposure, making sure our children have exposure, right? Right? And sports gives you exposure. It gives you the opportunity to be around different people from different walks of life. Sports is a unifier. That's one of the things I love about playing basketball, playing football, playing sports as a youngster. It gave me opportunity to be with people I would not have had the opportunity to be around if it was up to me, right? Or it was up to my
right.
circumstance. I grew up around, I'm in the hood, I'm from the hood in Cleveland, Ohio. We didn't see a
Hmm.
lot of Caucasians and like that. Matter of fact, the neighborhoods still don't see a lot of,
Come on, come
because
on.
I played basketball,
Absolutely.
because I
Hmm.
was exposed, because I was around other people. It gave me opportunity to know that the world was bigger than just my environment. You know what I
Come on,
mean? And
come
so
on.
that's the one thing. And then the other point that you made that I think people can kind of run past is that even though your parents' relationship wasn't perfect, they
Hmm.
were working through whatever they were working through, but they
Hmm.
still were doing the best with what they had with y'all. So he
Come on.
knew, I need to put this boy in sports, right? Hey, I
Hmm.
know this ain't perfect. I know this ain't, and so one of the things that I tell people often is that we
Hmm.
need to forgive our parents because our
Hmm.
parents did the best with what they had,
Come on, come on,
the
come
information
on,
they had, the
come on,
understanding they had from being raised the way they were raised. If you didn't
come on,
grow up on a corner selling your body, smoking, and being addicted to every single drug, if your parents kept you from a lot of things and did, come on, y'all, you gotta.
come on.
And then as
Hey,
adults, let's just keep it real.
come on,
You now know and understand. You don't know everything. Oh my God,
come
this is
on,
what they talking about.
come on, come on.
How did how did they do that with the limited understanding that they had? And yet we still want to hold it. So man, bro, bravo to you, bro. That's a
Hey,
wise man's thought because that's just great stuff. Go ahead, continue. Tell us a little bit
hey,
more about.
hey. So my dad, and I'm always talking about my dad. Not so much my mom, but my dad, right? Because in our household, it was, and this is why I'm so positive now, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I always credit my mom, right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
my dad. If you guys want negative, I wouldn't be positive.
See, see,
So and I always say, Mom, thank you for saying those really negative and hurtful things to me later because you actually helped me grow tough skin and you got me ready for the world.
yeah.
I said you might not have knew what you was doing or what you was saying at that moment, but you
Mm-hmm.
really got me prepared for the world. So now when the world talks bad to me, I don't cry. I
Come on.
don't go into a hole. I don't
Oh,
wipe
come
my
on.
eyes. I have a mental fortitude that
Strength.
you didn't
Yeah.
know you was teaching me, and you didn't even know you was teaching me this mental fortitude. And I said, Dad, you didn't understand how much you was teaching me by throwing me out there and getting me out the house and pushing me to go play these sports when I didn't even want to play sports. And
Mm.
somehow you kept pushing me to play these sports just to get me out the house so I wouldn't be around this negativity. But this negativity fueled my ambition to now use it.
Yeah.
So now I'm placed into this environment of sports. I have this mental fortitude. I have this negativity in me, which is fuel. And now you've introduced me to this game. So now when I entered the game, I didn't know how to play the game, but I know one thing that I had a chip on my shoulder because
Mm.
of my mom. So she gave me the things necessary on the inside to do the things necessary on the outside.
So
Okay.
talk to me about it. Hold on, cause hold on. You keep saying something. This thing. My mom. Now, Larry, I know you a little bit, and I've been knowing you for a long time, and there's different layers
Hmm.
to us that we share. And I don't know if I might be touching on something. So, how was your relationship with your mother? Like, because it seemed that there was some tension there.
It was
There was some.
horrible. There
Why?
wasn't a
So,
relation. It
so
it wasn't a
typically
relationship.
that's not what you hear. So tell me about this. Tell me about this, bro.
It was
What is
horrible
this about?
because my mom is she's a narcissist. Everything is about her. My mom, when my dad had to work overtime, we were young.
Mhm.
She would get mad at him and throw his clothes out the house. She would even throw us out the house, and she said, "Hey, if you don't come home and get your clothes and get your kids, they're gonna be outside until you get here." She was a psycho. I think she was a psychopath. She was a,
What?
how can I say it? She was an evil, nice woman to the outside, but evil on the inside. And to
She
this
was a
day, we
evil.
don't call her. To this day, we don't call her mom because she told us. She said, "Don't call me mom. It makes me feel old. Call me by my name." So to this day, now as I've grown older, I called her by her mom. But when we lived in that house, it was always her first name because she said, "Don't call me mom." And I think she was dealing with a lot of issues from being adopted and her mom
Yeah.
not wanting her. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of so it was a lot of brokenness in the
Right. There
house.
we go. There we go.
My mom
There we
was
go.
adopted, my dad was adopted.
Oh,
They came
wow.
together. So they came together. My mom didn't know what good was, and my dad didn't know what bad was. So it was like hot and cold. But the kids that they had, which was me, my brother, and my sister, we had to endure this, but we didn't have nothing to do with that.
Right. Wow. 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 What a powerful
So
statement. We had to endure with what we didn't have anything to do with creating. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
So my sister got she got it even worse than me because my mom was really on her about you a hoe, you this and you that, and it was just the verbiage that she learned, and she was taking her hurt and now applying it to our lives, right?
Hmm.
She was hurt, so she was hurting us. You know that saying, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
it.
was nothing positive that came out of her mouth to us. Even when it
Wow.
came to me now getting into the sport of football, basketball, baseball, and then going into junior high and then going into high school, right?
Uh-huh.
That's when things started to change for me in high school because I'm like, I'm a freshman on a varsity team, and I gotta still now listen to this woman um, talk negatively about everything.
Mm.
My dad is always the worst person. He's always the most. He's always cheating. He's always uh, just not doing enough to please her.
Mm.
So
Mm.
she was
Mm.
like a dripping faucet all the time, right?
Mm. Mm.
And then on the other hand, he had to kind of sacrifice his life just to keep her happy. So I looked at that
Wow.
and it
Mm.
made me mad. It made me mad at my dad because I'm like, bro, you gotta stand up, man. What's up, dog? Come on. And he would tell me, which I respected now to this day, and he was just like, well, son, when you're a man of God,
Mm.
you gotta be patient with what you
Mm.
signed up for. I signed up for this. And he says,
Wow. Respect.
I said to death do us part. No matter what she says, no matter what she does, son, I still love that woman. I couldn't understand why he would love someone that treated him so bad.
That is wow.
But over time, as I continue to enter into high school, now I'm starting to date because my name
Mm.
is starting to get out there.
Yeah, player, player. So high school, what position did you play? What position did you play?
So I played so my first year in high school I played cornerback, right?
Okay.
But I grew another 2 inches.
Okay.
So I'm a freshman at 170 pounds, but I could bring the wood. And in
Oh,
basketball,
oh, come
and
on,
in
man.
basketball, my freshman year I actually played JV. I had great leaping abilities, I had great ball handling skills, and I just had the acumen because that's the most important part, the acumen.
Yeah.
And then I played baseball. Well,
Okay.
baseball had to get put to the side because I wanted to try to find my own independence because I had a strict curfew.
Okay.
Now I'm sniffing, smelling myself, right?
Yep.
So I said, you know what? I need a car. And this is what kids don't understand nowadays. So I said, I want a car. I went to my parents and I said, I want a car. And they said, well, I don't know how you're going to get one. So I
So.
said, I got, okay, I'm going to get a job. So I got a job. I quit baseball. And this is what kids don't understand. I got a job at Winn Dixie as a bag boy. I said, I'm going to get me a car. Had a, and this is when it comes to speaking things into an existence or declaring things. I said, I'm going to get me a car. I don't know how, but I'm going to get me a car. I started working. I stopped playing baseball. During the baseball season, I was working at Winn Dixie. This lady was a sales manager at Winn Dixie. We used to talk, good friends, right? I said, man, I want a car so bad. I've just been saving and saving and saving. And we talking, and she was like, it's break time, whatever. She says, you know what? I got a car. I said, quit lying. She said, I just bought it, but I can't handle the payments. I said, wow, what are your payments? Back then, this was like 30 years ago, bro. 40 years ago.
Long time ago.
This is a long time ago. 30 years ago. I think I was
Okay.
16. I'm 46
Wow.
now. So 30 years ago. She says,
That's
you know
crazy.
what she says? You can have it if you can take over the payments. I said,
What
how
was the
much are the
payment?
payments? She said, 276. I said, what?
That,
I'm I make about $900. Okay, $900 a month here. See how that it was minimum wage back then. It was like $7. See how that worked? $7 kids making minimum wage now is like 18, $19.
yeah, they grown now.
So I went to my parents and I said, hey, I got a lady at the office that said she will get me a car if I just take over payments. My dad said, how much are the payments? 276. My parents had pretty good credit. So my dad bought it because he's seen me as I grew through the years how responsible I was. So he bought it. Went and financed and did a deal 276, and he said, I'll pay the insurance if you pay the car note. I said, deal. I
Nice.
paid the car note every year. I got a red Mitsubishi Eclipse. And when I got that red Mitsubishi Eclipse,
It's over.
my hey, my bruh, I'm the only kid as a freshman with a car, bro.
It was
With a,
over.
I'm sorry, as a junior, as a sophomore with a car, because I was a little older.
Right.
Because
It was
you
over
get
with.
held back. you you get held back when you got potential. You get held back a little bit, right? Let's get you here. Let's get you here. Let's hold you back. Get you here, right? So, long story short, um, I'm starting to figure this life thing out because I'm spending time in my friends' houses all over. Some of them own dairy ranches because we live in Florida. We live in the country.
Hmm.
Some of them own dairy ranches and they making big moves. Some of them are small time, but they managers, right?
Hmm.
So they just run things differently. The refrigerator was full. The kids had free will. Mom and dad was talking to each other and relating, black and white, right? So
Right.
I'm pulling this info, Wow, wow, wow. And I'm trying to introduce this back into my household, talking to my brother and my sister, right? Hey, you don't have to do that. You can do this. You don't have to do that. You can
Mm,
do this. You don't have to do that. You
mm.
can do this. So I'm eating from these people, right? I would go back home and say, Dad, I love you. I would try this shit out, right? Because they ain't teach us to say I love you, right?
That's real talk.
They ain't teach
Real
us to
talk.
hug each other, right? And be close. They ain't teach us to like say you can be vulnerable and let your guard down. They ain't teach
Wow.
us to say, hey, you can cry. I remember it was a guy I used to stay beside. His name was Leaf Garrett. The motherfucker he would cry in front of his parents, right? They were hugging and they would tell him it's gonna be okay, son. We love you. I was like, God damn, you can cry.
Right. Wow, bro. That's
Ah!
crazy. That is crazy. This is what I'm trying to say. This is the stories that are out there that I want to share with people. that so somebody is listening to our conversation or watching this conversation, and you're saying,
Bruh.
man, I can relate to that. Like I grew up, my mom didn't start hugging us. Now, this ain't no, my mom is a strict Christian woman who loves the Most High with all her soul,
Mm-hmm.
mind. So I don't say nothing bad about Miss Denise Evans. Mrs. Denise, I do not want to. Denise, if you ever see the Denise, mom, you know I love you, boo. Do not hit me on, but
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't affectionate growing
Mm-hmm.
up, you know, and so
Mm-hmm.
and she was raising four boys in the inner city of Cleveland, Ohio, and she's saying to herself
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, maybe it could have been subconscious, but when my dad was in and out, dealing with his situation. So for us,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't get hugs, we didn't get
My in and out,
affection
in
like
and
that.
out. You say
You know what I'm
in
saying?
and out with
I'm
what? Like just
I'm coming out like he was in us for a relationship, then leaving,
gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
being on drugs, had to go
Yeah.
to rehab, coming back.
Mm.
You know, my mother and
Mm.
father got married twice and then divorced, subsequently divorced twice. So we seen
Okay.
that drama, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like to speak to your situation, I understood. I can relate to that. People can relate to that particular thing as opposed to, you know, some of the outcomes you've been able to produce in your life.
Mm-hmm.
These things that most people are going to deal with some kind of life relational aspect, be it
Correct.
through your parents, through your siblings, or in a sexual romantic relationship.
Correct.
So for you to
Absolutely.
see that this is something that I'm missing, you perceive, wow, this is more normal than I thought, and I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
You was experimenting. You was going back to your environment and kind of having experiments. So how did this go, bro? How did? Because now you in high school, you the man. You playing
Hey.
JV. You playing varsity corner. Who knows? You probably thought you was Deion Sanders. Talk to me.
Hey, so it didn't really start. It broke open for me when we played a game. I was playing varsity, took my cousin's position, which also was hurtful. He was a senior, took his position, had a game against Suncoast, and
Okay.
had like a couple of big hits in the game. And now my name skyrocketed, right? Across the Treasure
Wow.
Coast. That's what we called it in Florida, the Treasure
Okay.
Coast. Who is this
Okay.
freshman? That's 170 pounds, rocking the best DN. I mean, the defensive, I'm sorry, the best receiver for Suncoast. Who is this guy that just rocked him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on cloud nine. I'm feeling good, but we really didn't get into the stats, and because we was country folk, we really didn't
Right.
get into like who was doing what, right? We didn't know a lot of people, so that's why um, we didn't respect a lot of people because we didn't know a lot of people because we didn't hear shit, right?
Right.
So we didn't
Right.
hear shit. So when they came in, they was like regular players to us
Right.
because we
Right.
was from the muck. Fuck them, right? We don't care. We're not gonna read up on them. We're not gonna study them. We're just gonna go out there and play, right?
Play football. Right.
So as I started to develop my game, girls started to enter into the picture.
Okay.
So there was this girl. She
Hey,
was a
we ain't saying no
senior.
name. No name.
She was she was a senior, and she was the most popular girl in school. And I
Okay.
end up in a basketball line. She end up saying, "I like you," and I'm like, I'm a sophomore now. I'm like nervous, right? I'm like, oh shoot, this girl likes me. Wow, oh, shoot. So I went out and played the basketball game. She was
Uh-huh.
cheering. After the game, a friend said, hey, one of her cheerleading friends said, hey, you need to really step to her because she said she'd like it. She don't say that to anybody. So I went up to her and I said, I would like to, I'm a square. My parents didn't let me go out and do and be right around just anybody. They kept me at the house. So I'm square and I said, hey, I would love to date you. I would
Mm.
love to be with you. And she said, she gave me her number and she said, call me.
Mm.
And after she said that, I was like the most, fuck the game. Fuck the game. I was like, wow, I'm starting to feel new emotions. And this is what we don't talk about as men. I'm feeling new emotions that I never, ever felt. But it was from an outside agent, which was this girl. And this girl stayed right across about three houses down from where we lived, right? But I didn't
Mm.
think that I was in her league. because my parents never let me go out. They always kept me in.
Wow.
So they safeguarded me because they knew that I had some type of potential. So they didn't let me just be around anybody. Even though they had their
Hmm.
differences, they still safeguarded me, right?
Hmm.
So me and this girl started talking, and it was always me asking for permission to go 2 houses down to their house, even though I was this big star in Okeechobee. So her dad liked the aspect of me being that respectful, um, to date his daughter at a young age because of who my parents were to the outside world.
Right.
But they didn't know who my parents were on the inside.
Wow.
So I started dating this girl, and my game elevated
The peace,
because
the peace made the elevation. Nah, hey.
elevation, right? Because now all the girls want to dig you now, right?
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
they
I
can't
know.
have you because you're in a relationship, and we all know that the most valuable thing in this world is something that people can't have or that they're trying to get, right? That's off limits to them.
I'm trying to tell people, exclusivity makes you valuable.
Come on.
And
So
the more accessible you are, the less value you bring. I'm trying to
come
tell people.
come on. So
And listen, you don't see Rolls Royce commercials. You don't see,
you,
you do not see McLarens. You do not see them. And when you see a car
boy,
like that, you be like,
hey, hey, now
that's the type of men we are, bro. Rolls Royce.
now I'm with this girl, and now just keep in mind, I'm not a street guy. I've
No.
never been a street guy. I don't know nothing about the streets, but somehow the streets come knocking. So my mom would allow me to ride my bike and go around the neighborhood, right? It was a store called Right Plaza. She would allow me to ride my bike and go out, but when it hit 9 o'clock, you had to be inside.
Right.
She didn't play, right? So I would now get inquiries. I would now have people come to me and say, "Hey, dog. Hey, LD. Hey, Larry. Hey, boy. Hey, good game. Or hey,
Right.
Larry. Boy, you dating Kenya, boy? Oh." And me, I'm new to this, so I don't know how to respond. So my response is, yeah, 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 yeah. So now I'm balling,
Yeah.
get more rights. People are coming to the game because of the big hits. Then
Hmm.
I'm dating this girl that's like supposed to be like the end to be
Pride.
the everything, right? So I'm
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
wow,
Right.
I'm living the best of both worlds, but I still got a 9 o'clock curfew. But she understands because she is attracted to me because I'm green. I
Mm.
don't know shit. The
Hmm.
only thing I know is, hey, how are you doing today? You straight? You good? You come here. Let me give you a hug. So the things that help me with her is the things that I learned outside the house.
Mm. Mm. So this dynamic you got going on at the house that you're dealing with the parents that are in conflict. You got your siblings. You playing football. Your name is starting to ring in your small town. Where does your aspirations now for taking it to the next level? When did you notice? You say, "Oh, I can play, college. I can play college." And then once we get to college, where are we at with this NFL aspiration? So, how did you get to the Marshall University? First of all, how did you? When did it happen for you?
There was no aspirations. I didn't even think about
Really?
I didn't think about playing football after high school until I started receiving letters.
Okay.
I started receiving letters all around the Treasure Coast, Florida, Florida State. I started receiving letters from a lot of different schools, and I had shoe boxes full of letters. I'm like, wow, I can actually play football at another level? What? I can actually go to college and play football. Somebody's actually looking at me. So these letters
Oh.
was coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. When you're raised in a small community, sometimes you have small thinking.
Hmm. Yep.
And
Yep.
my thing was, I couldn't think about, the other kids can think about college, but I couldn't think about college because I had a brother and a sister.
Right.
I had to make sure they were straight because my parents was always arguing, still arguing. My mom was just mean. So I had to focus on making sure that they were straight all the time.
Mm.
So my goal was not college. My goal was not even my girlfriend at the time, who was a star. My goal was making sure my brother and my sister was emotionally straight.
Mm.
Because of what I've learned staying in these people's houses, I'm like, it don't got to be like this. So now there's an anti that's rising up in me against
Mm.
my dad. Because I'm like, look, you need to be the citadel in this house. You need to stand up to this woman.
Mm.
So this is the thing right here. This is the breaking point for me. So I stood up against my dad, and me and my dad got in a fight
Like a physical
because
altercation.
a physical altercation. Because I was
Wow.
like, what you're doing is dead wrong. You can never allow this woman to tell you these things and you not stand up for us because she's telling us these things. She's making us feel a certain way about ourselves. You got to stand up. I said, it's going to be on you. And I'm telling him this at a young age. We got in a fight.
How?
I got kicked out the house.
Wow. How old are you around this age, Ethan?
So I'm 16 years old at this age, and I get kicked out the freaking house, right? So
Wow.
I get kicked out the house. I go stay with my aunt. My aunt says, "Hey, if you're gonna stay here, you're gonna pay me rent."
Okay.
So I'm like, "Look, man, I'm in high school. This is my junior year in high school, bro." I'm like, "Okay, so now I got my brother and my sister at the house. My mom and dad are still at odds. My girlfriend at the time was a singer. Now she's in
Hmm.
college.
Wow.
She's ringing me saying, "Hey, this ain't gonna work because I'm in college, and we all know how that go."
We know how that go. We know how that
Yeah.
go.
So
Just
look,
that one day we had that conversation.
so my mom already taught me something that was very beneficial, right?
Okay. Okay.
Never put a woman before you because of how she treated my dad. So I said in my mind, I would never put a woman before me. I would make sure
Wow.
that I'm at peace first. So when she called and told me that, hey, this ain't gonna work, I was like, hey, cool. I understand. Do you? Congratulations. Because I used to go up there and visit her in college,
Hmm.
right? Trying to
Hmm.
make it work. But
Hmm.
long story short, it didn't work. But so she's in college. I'm in high school still. So I'm even more enraged on the inside because now I'm kicked out. My parents ain't getting along, and my brother and sister needs me.
Right.
But on the inside, I feel broken. On the outside, people see you as winning.
Right. Right. Don't know what's going on at home. Don't know what's going on in you. Don't know the dynamic. All they see is the talent, the anger, the fierceness, the power. They don't understand what's fueling that.
So I'm empty. I'm empty, bro. I'm
Yeah.
empty. But
So what are you
let,
doing? How you dealing with this, bro?
let's go back to it though. The emptiness and the brokenness gave me the power to say, hey, if you now don't understand what these letters are about, then you're going to be stuck here in the same situation.
Hmm.
So now I'm starting to get an understanding of what these letters are about, and that I do have to get out of here. I do have to leave my brother and my sister and my mom. I do got to go.
You learning. Yeah. Wow. Life to teach you along the way what you need to do. Come on, talk to me. So come on.
Come on. So
Come
I'm
on.
learning. My senior year I ball out. I have a great year in basketball. I have a great year in football. But I like football because it gives me the ability not to go out there and hit people, not to go out there and play good, not to go out there and get physical. But football gave me the greatest escape
Okay.
from the hurt, the
Okay.
pain, the agony, the arguing. It gave me an outlet to let these things go and to let these
Mm-hmm.
things out.
Mm-hmm.
So I also now credit my mom. I said, hey, man, if I was soft and I ain't had no outlet, I don't know where I would be. But I thank you
Mm,
for giving me this drive to just get away. To get away. So
mm,
I got away and I balled even better and better and better. And now I start getting all these calls. Well, now I don't pass my SAT score or ACT. I can stay in Florida, but I got to get Proposition 48.
mm,
My parents don't have that type of money to get Proposition 48.
mm-mm,
I had another guy by the name of John Grace who played at the same high school that I played with that went to Marshall. He was already
mm.
at Marshall. So John Grace says, I got a guy, Okeechobee. Go see him play. So they came down to see me play and they offered me. But they said, hey, since you didn't pass the ACT, you have to go to the community college, but we'll still redshirt you. Sounds like you saying that I can get redshirted, you pay for my schooling, and all I have to do is go to the community college, but I can still be a redshirt, and I can still get into college without my parents having to pay anything. And that's how I got to Marshall University.
All praise to the Most High. There we go. Wow.
So I
Wow.
said,
See,
okay, Marshall was never on the radar, but
wow.
Marshall had a program that would take you in and put you in their community college and say, you can take these 101 classes and this will account for your. And what Marshall did that was so special, they averaged, because I always had a good GPA, right? They averaged my GPA with my test scores and they said, hey, we'll take you. You're getting, gave me a full ride. You can take the first year community college. You can do everything the team do. We'll redshirt you. And I didn't have to get Proposition 48. I said, good, let's go.
Wow, bro.
And so I always tell people to this day, it's good to know people, and not only to know people, but to treat everybody with respect because you never know who you would need to put in a word for you in time.
See that? See that? Look at that. And listen, this position you have, this excitement you have, this positive attitude. Ever since I've known you, always been this person. And to know now that this came out of some extreme pain, where affection was withheld, where negative words were, and explicitives and vulgarness was around you at all times, and yet you have developed the iron kind of clad mindset. You've got calluses on your brain when it comes to negative talk to be able to resist that. Because you had to also deal with that once you got to Marshall, once you started playing football at Marshall, once you started to realize, okay, what's next for me after I play football? So now you're playing football at Marshall. Now let's talk a little bit, because you had a personality that had you been playing right now. Dollar bill. You talk about dollars. Listen, my brother right here was a character. You understand me? And you would never know he was from a small town in Florida. The way this boy carried himself, he just had this exuberance, this sweet, just a cool dude. And so, tell me, man, if you was playing right now, big baller, big pimpin', what you would do with how you think? Are you envying the kid? Do you like what's happening with NIL? Is that money starting to mess with how the sport is
Mm.
played and how is seen? What's your thoughts on that, bro? You're a
So let's
businessman.
rewind. Before we get to that, let's rewind because I will always say this. Um, as an athlete, you have to respect the talent's space and who they are and what they're bringing to your team. Um, the locker room is the best room and the best meeting room, board room that you will ever indoctrinate yourself in.
Mm,
Because there's people from all over that believe so many different things that now will cause you to really choose and figure out what you really want to believe, because a belief is adoption.
Mm.
What belief am I going to adopt to now lead my life? So when I got to Marshall, I was a young green pea, and it was a whole bunch of guys in there from Atlanta, okay, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
VA, Washington, West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
Florida, and then a couple of other states, right? So when you playing and when you're a football player, it's a ruthless locker room. It's like swim or sink. So uh, I think the thing that helped me was my first year at Marshall. We had this in the locker room. We had the M. It's a big M in the locker room,
Mm-hmm.
and no underclassmen can walk through the M. You had to walk around to your lockers
Wow.
in the locker room. If you walked through the M, that means you had to challenge a senior uh, right there on the middle of the M in a wrestling match, right? So me, being through all that I've been through coming to college, I'm like, man, it's now me, it's always a mind game.
Mm.
How can I establish myself quickly and right now? So me being me, I walked through the air. Javon Jenkins, he played running back. He said, "Oh fuck no, we got an underclassman walking through the M. Fuck him, man." So I said, "What's happening? What's up? What's up? Let's go." I knew that I was giving up about 50 pounds to this guy. He was strong, he was physically fit, and he was a senior.
Yeah.
I said, if I'm gonna get my ass whooped, this gonna be the time. But if I win, then now I'm gonna establish myself within the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm gonna establish myself within the players. John Grace is sitting right there because he's an upperclassman. So I see him. He says to Javon, he says, look, I don't know, these Toby boys built different. I'm still 170 pounds. I haven't gained no weight yet.
Right. Right.
So he challenges me and we wrestle in the end. So I get the better of Javon because I'm smarter than Javon. It's not about strength. It's about
Leverage.
leverage.
Yeah.
So I
Leverage.
so I get him hemmed up in a locker, right? And I won't let him go. He hemmed up. I scooped it and hemmed him up in the locker. And he like, and it was over. And John Grace was like, boy, I done told you about these Florida boy. I done told you about these Florida boy. Long story short, um, it wasn't about beating Javon. It was about, it goes back to my mom, goes back to my dad.
Mm.
With my dad, it's about standing up for yourself. And then with my mom, it's about how can I be a positive influence.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when I beat Javon that day in the locker room, it wasn't about beating Javon. It was about being a positive influence, knowing that you can be smaller and still beat somebody who's bigger. And then also, it was about my dad who was patient and me saying, hey, man, I don't want no smoke with you. I respect you. I just wanted to just kind of wrestle you to see where you was at. And Javon says to me at the end of it, he was like, you got heart, little dude, but I'm gonna still get that ass. I was like, hey, bro, I don't want, and I said, I don't want it, right? But that was me giving him his flowers at that time.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I think that's helped me in life because life is about give and take. Life is
Yeah.
about relationships and community.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't learn that in the house, I did learn it in the house because, like I said earlier, you can learn two things from your parents: what to do and what not to do. So
Mm.
now, as I'm gaining this notoriety in the locker room, now I become this character. And Ralph Street gave me the name Dollar Bill
Dollar.
because Dollar Bill because I used every resource that I could use to keep myself in a favorable position. So whether it was girls on campus, and you know
Oh
what kind
yeah.
of girls,
Oh yeah.
whether it was coaches, whether it was boosters, whether it was players, I always created an atmosphere to where it was always beneficial to me
Hmm.
to create an atmosphere that was beneficial to them, to create a community based relationship so that now anywhere you go, you find favor. But check this out. My sophomore year is where I found Christ.
Right.
So now that's new to me because of Andre O'Neal, who
Yeah.
witnessed to me. And then somehow I found New Birth,
Right.
which New Birth is what you led.
Right.
That was
So
new to me because that was a different type of talking.
right. It was
Now I
definitely
can
different
go
type of
into
talking.
how influential you were in my life.
Hey, guess what, bro? They can't hear this until part two because we ran out of time. We got 9 minutes left, and I'm not about to let them
Okay.
hear about that because that's a part of a story that's made for part two. Because this, listen, y'all don't understand. I bring people on here who I know have a positive impact in your life, and I've seen them change, and he's one of those people. So I've seen him grow. I
What?
mean, I've seen him grow. I've seen him grow.
Yeah,
So.
I'm not gonna go into it, but you help like bro, I can't even speak on how much I thought about you because of how much you I you bro, you brought so much wisdom to I'm like saying to myself, like, how the fuck does this guy how the fuck does this guy
Oh
even
my.
know this stuff? It was so
Wow. I didn't
it
think
was
of it.
so crucial to my aligning to my life today.
Wow.
Over time, from what
Wow.
you taught and from what you spoke and from the stance that you took at an early age in the
Mm.
midst of uh, any girl you could have, because you could have any girl that you wanted.
This is
Any
true.
you spoke well
Thank you,
and
brother.
you carried yourself in a way that was like unheard of. And
Appreciate that, brother.
I didn't get introduced to you until Michael Owen said, "Hey,
Yep.
come come to this Bible study." And I was like, "All right, I'll come." But when I came, I was like, "Hell no." It was better than any church service that my grandma
Mm.
took me to
Mm.
back when I was little. And I was like, hold up. I think I might have
Wow.
something here.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. See, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Back. This is not. I was a pastor for 12 years, well, and it was all birthed out of what I was actually told my pastor growing up. At 12, I would be a pastor, even though I knew I wanted to be in the NBA. And then Marshall was the catalyst. Like, I literally came off
Yeah.
playing JUCO, going to Marshall, and it was the catalyst of the fathers, choosing to introduce me to the world as this teacher. And it wasn't forced. He'd tell you it wasn't. I wouldn't know. It wasn't no magic. We didn't do no. It wasn't no advertisement. It was none of this. All word of mouth. It's all organic
Bruh.
as it
Bruh.
absolutely could be. And so it's one of the reasons why I'm such a relaxed, very well kind of just. I have been leading people for a very long time, and without even trying. It's not something I try to do. It's not. It's not forced. And Dollar would tell you. I call him Dollar just to be funny, but Larry would tell you he's Larry is a man among men, so he don't just follow anybody. We had a lot of very alpha men And I'm talking about the fraternity. I'm talking about alpha men, very vibrato men, very tall men, very athletic individuals who,
bruh.
and so, but
Like grizzly men,
I'm serious,
and
like men,
like
like real men. It's
I know.
like
So
athletes.
you, bruh, you was like I don't. You're right. I don't listen to a lot of people, and I don't just
Hmm.
sit around people. But bro, the words that you was speaking at that time
Hmm.
was like unprecedented, and it was before your time. And I was like, this guy has something that I need because the what he's saying like is so spirit led, bro. It was off like now I'm a straight whore, all right. I'm getting my grades and I'm a straight dog on the field.
Right.
But it was something about you that said it just something draw me to you. I don't even think you knew like what
I
you
did.
was doing or what you was saying, but the words you was saying was echoing from a mountaintop. And I was
Mm.
like, God dang, this guy is like where does he get this information from? Like he
And what's
wasn't just read out the Bible. He was like speaking to everyone, but at, on their level.
and bro, when I say listen, and I'm only saying this is because it's that's from that's an organic from the Father, tapped into the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach, if you want to be all technical and all that stuff. But I'm talking about in a place I had never been in my life. Uh, I was just as raw and uncut as anybody. I grew up in church, but I didn't grow up studying the scripture in a way where I understood the Hebrew or Greek at that time. None of that. This was really me tapped into the Father in a raw, uncut way, and then he just used me. And of course, I was grateful to have good people around me, like Bishop Samuel Moore and his mother, his wife Renee, and who we call Ma and affectionate. Then I had
Hmm.
we had Ma over there on at the
Hmm.
Glorious
Oh
Church
yeah.
of God, what I'm saying, at the
Yes.
original,
Yes.
So
Yes.
we had so
Original.
many people around us that allowed us to be able to be incubated, but at the same time tapped in, and we were at an age where I'm an adult, but I just became an adult, so I'm rebelling against what I came up in anyway, and then trying to figure out who I am in this world, and here we are at the intersection of our lives, where we're going from children to adults in this place that I had never been around people I ain't never, and I was isolated. I was literally the only person from Cleveland. I was literally, and I was getting connected to people that I had never met in my entire life. Like it was divine connection, and so and we all of us have grown in our lives in extraordinary ways, and from that standpoint, and I'm just grateful to be a part of that journey because I'm not the reason you are who you are. You are who you are because that's what God wanted you to be. The Most High wanted you to be, and because of
But
you and the
you
Word,
are a pivotal point.
I'm a
You
part of the
are
journey.
because I was dollar bill, but after I started going to New Birth, it made me it made me so you made me answer some of the questions
Yes.
on why,
Yeah.
right? Why do
Yeah.
you do the things that you do? And it wasn't preachy, but
Right.
it was very how can I say it? It was very on point
Mm.
for where I was at the time, and it reached me somehow, and it made me say, "Hey, um, you really do need to listen and stop those ways and
Mm.
start and refresh and reboot, reimagine something different, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So you was that pivotal point that made me say, I don't want to be called Dollar Bill anymore. I want to be called Larry or
And
LD.
yeah, and that's what we started calling you too. That was it. Dollar died. I
See?
mean, so that persona, which was coming from also that movie that was the Players Club or something like that, or
Yes.
what's the name of the
Yeah.
song?
We
Yeah,
watched the Players Club, Dollar Bill.
dollar
Yeah, I
bill.
ain't paying these country boys. I ain't paying these country boys nothing, nothing,
Nothing,
nothing,
nothing. And so,
nothing. Blue,
but
you do what I tell you to do.
and for to see you come and literally take responsibility for your life, bro. Our time has come to a close. We got to do a part two
Yes,
super soon. All right, because we got
absolutely.
so much more. Listen, y'all, we just got to his junior year. We ain't even got nowhere. Our time, we only
Damn.
got to his junior year because
Yeah.
of all the nuggets and all the wisdom and the conversation. Man, I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I have. Larry, I really appreciate you, brother. Love you to the utmost and love you to life. I see you soon, bro.
All day. Stay off the chain, baby.
Come on, man. Go herd, baby. What they know about
Hey,
that
go.
life?
Hey, go hard, baby. Get excited, dog.
Come on, man. Love you, champ.
All right, love you back, baby. Hey,
Go on, man.
peace. Go.